check the menu. Oh yeah, more shit. Cancel. I'm not gonna do the track rundown or the track info thingy, whatever I'm doing. I'm gonna do it in a few minutes. I'm not gonna do it now. I'll wait till it's like 5 minutes, like 3 minutes till, well, for me 4 o'clock, for UK it's 2 o'clock. It's like 3 minutes before 2 o'clock for you guys. I'm gonna say now. Actually, let me just begin this thing now. So that it doesn't. So I'm not gonna confuse. I'm not gonna have a hurry. Like I won't be in a hurry. So the track today for BPRL, it's Portugal. And it's a sprint today as well. So those as well, like voting for if drivers wanted, if the drivers would like to have a short quali or full quali with the sprint. They decided that it's gonna be a short quali. I can't find it now. I mean, oh, yeah. So it's short quali. 11 votes for short quali and only 3 votes for full. It was actually, let me check. Actually, well, that's technically 10-2, but it doesn't change anything. So yeah, the Portuguese track, located in Algarve. Just need to, yeah. So the Portuguese track length has 4.653 kilometers, 2.891 miles. Laps 33, and sprint laps are 11. First Grand Prix held was in 2020, but it previously held the GP2 when it was called GP2. Nowadays it's called F2, and then there's all Formula Renault and some other smaller racing series. Corners 15, deer zones 2 on the main straight, on the main start finish straight, and then on the little back straight, going into turn 5. Best overtaking places are turn 1, turn 3, turn 5, turn 13 maybe. Turn 14 as well, you could send it, but turn 15 not really the best, as it's run down to the start finish straight. So I wouldn't say that's ideal. No, I'm not reading it from Wikipedia. I've actually never used Wikipedia for these. I actually most of the time used the F1 website for these, because it's the easiest one. But then as well for this, because there's the Portuguese track isn't on the official F1 calendar, so I just had to take from the other league's track info, but I just remember some of the facts from my head. And yeah, this track has a lot of elevation. Even going into from the start finish rate, going to turn 1, it's a little downhill, and then going into turn 1, it's a little uphill. It's like a blind apex, and you can't see the exits of it. You just have to remember it. And going to turn 2, there's a little like dip. I mean, it goes a little bit downhill, but then it goes immediately all the way up. Turn 4, uphill, very difficult with the traction. It's very important to have a rear grip in there, and as well confidence in there. Going to turn 5, it's a little downhill, and then on the exit of it, it's going uphill. Going to turn 6 and 7, then it's a little uphill. Then going to turn 8 on the exit of it, and actually going into it on the middle of it, it's a very big uphill. But then it's immediately when going into turn 9, it goes immediately downhill. So it's as well there very important with the traction, and very easy to lose the car in there, and especially in wet. Turn 9, downhill, like I said, but then going to turn 10, it's immediately uphill, double right-hander, then immediately downhill on the exit of turn 11. Going to turn 12, easy flat, in dry, in wet, it's not flat out. Going to turn 13, yet again uphill, then on the exit of it, it's a little downhill, and then going to turn 14, it's downhill. And so I feel like that it's a little uphill, I think. And then in turn 15, then it's downhill, and going to the start finish straight, it's uphill. So many different uphill downhill sections between corners. There are many places that there's uphill downhill. The lineup for this race should be, just get the driver briefing. So for Red Bull, no surprise in here, Reggie and Shazza. For Ferrari, it's Noise and Hudson in Ferrari. For Mercedes, it's a standard Tur and Matt, or Beau as they call him in here, but I call him Tur because it's for me easier. Alpine, it's George and Somalian father. Oh god, how am I gonna but Somalia goes down inside. Oh my god, this is gonna be painful. For McLaren, it's Jovi and Jose. For Alfa Romeo, it's Dirk and Alfie. For Haas, it's Naud and Mormonic. AlphaTauri, Gravity and Tilted. For Austin. Ah yes, Austin. Aston, it's High and Chima, or Gemini. And for Williams, it's no surprise in here, Hennessy and Pet. So only Red Bull, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, Aston, and Williams have their uh the default or the default the normal lineup. There's no reserves for this race for them. Yeah, for Alfa Romeo there was as well no changes. For yeah, and for Red Bull as well, no changes. Okay, so they're only. So sorry about the numbers. What numbers? There's 19 people in here. Only one person is missing. There's only one person is missing. Only one person is missing. I don't understand about the numbers. I mean, whatever. 19 drivers is still better than 4. Yes, I did drive in a league where there was only 4 drivers in a race. Yes, you heard that right. 4 drivers. The rest was just filled with AIs. Very dead. That was very dead league. That was a very dead league. Yeah. Here I don't think there was any weather. No, in here there wasn't any weather. No, here wasn't any sort of weather sort of thingy in the first division of BP at least. But yeah, drivers are readying up now. So yeah, we're going into short quali for Portugal. We'll see what's going to be the conditions. Oh, for the drivers, hopefully there's going to be for the drivers, obviously they hope that it's going to be dry, as it's going to be the easiest. But for me, I don't honestly care. I don't really mind what the conditions are. It's just gonna be way entertaining for me and for the viewers. I don't honestly care what's it gonna be. I was saying I don't really care what the conditions are gonna be. Yeah, sorry for the background noise if you can hear it. Can't control it that the micro is going off. I'll actually close my laptop because I don't need it. It's raining. Oh boy, it is raining for the qualifying. What the drivers obviously want. The drivers obviously want it. That it's gonna be raining. Like they like it. I can only see the Discord chat. That's, oh my god, that it's raining. But it is for the Inter, so it's not as bad as for full wets. First car out on track. That's a Haas from Mormonic, as he's the only Haas out in here. I have to change the controller because this is the broken one, where the R2 is broken. Hold on. Quick little pit stop for me. The on-air thing is just always... Actually, there is no people. Actually, there's no people. Jesus Christ. I'm left alone. Okay, there wasn't anything. But already out on track, there are many people out on track. A Alpine of a father. Father, I would just call him. Alfie. Then Hudson spun round on the exit of turn 1. Then it was Jovi. Then it was Pet. There was a Mercedes of Matt. And then Gravity, I think. No, it's tilted behind them. Then it's Hudson, long way behind. Then it's Dietrich. Then it's a Red Bull from Reggie. Then it's Gravity. Then it's Tur. And then it is Gemini out on track. So Harmonic already has started his flying lap. Going to turn 1. Actually, I don't... Well, you don't definitely want to go off track and hit that inner sausage curb. And then as well not into turn 2 and 3. Into turn 4, very cautious on the throttle. Already you have to be way more cautious when it's wet. Going to turn 5. 25.517 for Harmonic. A bit too early. Going to turn 5, but still hasn't validated. Going to turn 7, a little bit wide, not hitting the apex, and into turn 8. Well, nicely done. Into turn 8, into turn 9 now. Not fully flat out, I think, for some drivers. Turn 10, you go deep, and going to turn 11, he has invalidated his time. A little bit too much on the inside. Tur has already crashed out on the exit of turn 15. Gemini is on a out lap. Yeah, just lost control on the exit of turn 15, and when he was going to do his lap. Who the hell was there next? Was it? No, Pet is there. Jovi? No, Jovi has invalidated. Who the hell is next? Jose is there. Is it then Father who is gonna start his... finish his flying lap first? It's gonna be a 126.490 from the Somalian Father. That still sounds very weird for me. Alfie drops down now to 4 to 128.754. Pet third, 128.602, and then Matt 127.208. And as Samadin off track, that's high off the track. Reggie finishes, no, that was Shazza starting his flying lap, but it's now gonna be next to Reggie to finish his lap. Turn 15, you have to be very cautious on the power so that you don't lose the rear end, but Reggie finishes his lap, and he goes P1, 126.293, only 2/10 ahead of Father. Tilted went 4th, but Gravity goes behind him, 127.790, Dietrich 6th, 127.928, Gemini 7th, 28.4535, and Tilted 27.312, a 10th behind Matt, as Jose is finishing his lap, and he is gonna be 6th, 27.868. Then it's Alfie going to the pits. Matt going to the pits as invalidated. Tilted slap look, no, he's going back into the pits. William is staying out, that's Pet, and he didn't improve. Shazza is gonna be finishing his lap, and where does it gonna go? He's gonna go ahead of Reggie by over half a second from Reggie. 125.755 from Shazza. Reggie isn't improving, so maybe he's doing no, he doesn't have even enough fuel to start his second flying lap. So at the moment Reggie is in first, but also we have to remember that it's only short quali, so Shazza at the moment is on provisional pole position. Gemini has improved on his time, but just that slightly behind Dietrich. It's only a less than 800s behind Dietrich. Then one of that's Hudson going to the pits. Noise has come out of the pits. He's on an out lap. That's Jovi starting his flying lap. Jose probably going into the pits. Yes, Jose going into the pits.
Hennessy on a flyer. Pets yet again he's still out on track. It's still raining with less than 11 minutes to go. High has invalidated his time. Shaza, I would assume that he's gonna go into the pits. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he can start the second one. He does start the second one. Noise is gonna start his flying lap, as well as Mormonic shortly. High has... I know that does Gemini actually in turn 14. He's up on his time through second sector, but with that improvement, he's gonna go ahead of Dietrich actually. And on the exit of turn 15 now, coming across the line, he goes P6. He found a massive amount of time through Sector 3 alone. That's McLaren cutting the whole turn 13-14 section. But Gemini at the moment is in P7, 127.738. Hennessy going fourth, 126.769 as he takes a bit of a interesting line through turn 2. Noise off track. He had some problems on the exit of turn 4 and has lost his whole front wing, as well as George had some issues, but he was on an outlap, so it doesn't as much matter. Alfie is on a outlap. Father, I guess he's on an outlap, yes. Then both of the Red Bull... Shaza... yeah, I forgot that he was out on track. And there's... Pet... has spun on the exit of turn 15. Not sure, but he's not gonna improve on his time on this lap. Mormonic is gonna finish his lap, and he's gonna go P12, 128.471 by the Haas reserve. Then High is 9th. Very good by him. 127.855. There's so much thing going on because it's a very so many things are happening at the same time. Hudson is gonna cross the line, and he was on an outlap, I guess. I hate this game sometimes with these outlap things. Dietrich is on an outlap. Next is gonna be Matt. Finished. No, he is invalidated. So next is gonna be Alfie. He has found 8/10 through the second sector. That will put him at the moment ahead of his own teammate as he goes off track on the exit of turn 15. He doesn't get invalidated, but he's now behind his teammate. Father goes second in the Alpine, 125.950 by the Alpine reserve. Hennessy, no, that was Pet actually, but Hennessy is as well improving on his time. Pet, I don't think he's improving, but Reggie has spun on the exit of turn 15. He does the same like Tur did at the beginning of qualifying, and it's not gonna be a pole position from Reggie yet again. It could be by Shaza, could be by Father, or it could be yet again by Noise. Although with the curse that's, well, it was broken in Hungary, but last time that we were, it was Zanwald. Then Noise started first, but he finished 9th. And Dietrich as well crashes out, but on the exit of turn 11. Hennessy did improve on his time, but he didn't improve position-wise. But Tilted did improve his time and position-wise. He's now 5th, 127.066. Matt didn't improve. Shaza is on an outlap. Father goes, I think, into the pits. Yes, he goes into the pits. What is that on his head? I don't think that is legal, but whatever. Alfie finishing his lap. No, I think he was on an outlap. No, he was finishing his lap. Gravity crossing the line. No, he's not gonna improve. Pet. He did improve to the second sector, and he did improve on the third sector. He goes 7th, 127.693 ahead of Gemini, but still a long way back behind Matt. Then it's a McLaren by Jose, who goes 6th, 127.138 ahead of Matt, but behind Tilted. Very good debut from the McLaren reserve, as well as Jose spawns on the exit of turn 2. Gemini, I think he went as well 8th, 127.419 as he lays very nicely on the exit of turn 2 in the walls. Jovi goes 6th, 127.0077. Then whoever was crossing the line, I can't even keep up, alright? Hudson not finishing his lap. Interesting by the Ferrari reserve. Noise didn't spin in turn 4. Shaza is not gonna cross line, and he goes back into the pits. Less than 4 minutes to go in qualifying. Matt is gonna cross the line, and he doesn't improve. Alfie is gonna cross the line, and he goes 9th, 127.345 out of Gemini, but behind Matt. High is gonna cross the line, and he was on an out lap. Pet going into the pits finally, I think. Finally, he was 6 laps on those tires. Noise is, I think, gonna cross the line. Yes, he's gonna cross the line, and he goes 5th, 126.525 by the Ferrari driver, as his championship hopes fade away. George, he's gonna go into the pits, as well as a Jose, I think, but Hennessy is gonna cross the line, and he is gonna go out of Reggie. He's gonna go 3rd, 126.167 as Mormonic spins on the exit of turn 8. But Reggie yet again falls down. Actually, not yet again. He was third. He was 3rd after he crashed out. But anyway, Hennessy is now 3rd, so Reggie falls down to P4. Noise is improving on his time, a second in the first sector. In the second sector, how much is he gonna improve? I'm gonna quickly check on the Alfa Romeo. Noise is improving by 1.2 seconds in the second sector as well. Alfie goes into the pits. High crosses the line, and he goes 12th, very close behind his teammate Gemini. So two Aston very close between each other. He goes 12th. Mormonic is gonna start his flying lap, but who is on a flying lap is Noise, and he's gonna cross the line, and he's gonna go provisional pole position, 125.173, almost 6 cents out of Shaza. That's a long way ahead of Shaza, but Noise now doesn't have fuel enough to start a new one or go back in the pit, refuel, and dala. So Noise now has to hope that Shaza doesn't improve on his time. Meanwhile, Reggie did fall down to P5 because Noise had a very good lap on that. But Shaza now through the first sector, and a massive mistake, and he already doesn't continue on his lap. Meanwhile, he has to watch out for the second Ferrari behind him, Hudson, and he's improving by almost 2/10 through the first sector already. High, is he gonna... No, he spun on the exit of turn... No, he actually missed the pits, I think. He missed the pits, and he's gonna get disqualified for going the wrong way. P12 goes down to P19, so Tur isn't gonna start last. George is gonna cross the line, but first is gonna be Pet, and no, he doesn't improve. George crosses the line, and he goes Nowhere. Hudson has improved on his time, 1.1 seconds on his time, but he is 1.3 seconds behind Mormonic. So he's gonna have to find a massive amount of time through the third sector as he invalidates on the exit going to turn 15. Tilted, not Tilted is still there, but he did find, no. He found time through the first sector, almost 2/10 faster. Shadow is gonna start his final flying lap. Alfie is gonna cross the line and he starts his final flying lap. Gemini starts his final flying lap, as well as Matt. Many drivers starting their final flying laps. As there is 2 drivers, Alfie, who is off track. Okay, so he's no danger, but as well there was after that's Gravity. Shuts off through the first sector, has found a time, half a tenth through the first sector. So he has to find much more time through the second and third sector. Mormonic goes 12th, 127.685. Then the Williams of Pet goes 6th, out of Tilted, but Tilted was improving. George goes 6th, but Tilted is improving a massive amount of time, and he could go ahead of Reggie. He does go ahead of Reggie, and he goes ahead of Hennessy even. 125.987 by the AlphaTauri Reserve. A beautiful time by the AlphaTauri. And Reggie's down in P6 now. George is down in P7, and Pet is down in P8. But Shazza, meanwhile, I didn't see his second sector time. He was improving through the second sector, almost 4.5 tenths, and crossing the line. He's gonna cross the line, and he goes he stays second, only 2 thousandths behind Noise. This is incredible, only 2 thousandths behind Noise. And many drivers cross the line. Jovi goes 7th. Alfie went 9th. Hudson, is he gonna improve? No, he invalidated yet again. But it's Noise ahead of Shazza, but only 2 thousandths on. Only 2 thousandths out of Shazza. This is incredible. But the two drivers that are fighting for P2 or P2 in the standings. This is just incredible. Only 2 thousandths for Noise. Yet again a pole position. But for Shazza, a pole position that he could have gotten. It was so close, but it's again so far. Just a tiny bit faster and he would have been ahead. But this Noise on pole position for the sprint. Shazza 2nd, Father 3rd, Tilted 4th, Hennessy 5th, Reggie 6th, Jovi 7th, George 8th, Alfie 9th, and Pet rounds off the top 10. Then behind him, Shemina very close behind him. It's a very close bit from George to Shemina. Then Jose 12th, Matt 13th, Mormonic 14th, Gravity 15th, Dietrich 16th, Hudson 17th. Very bad laps from Hudson. Tur 18th as he crashed out on the very beginning of qualifying, and High will start last after he sort of wanted to go back into the pits as he missed it, but well, that wasn't a very wise choice. High, very bad choice. And for the sprint, it is dry. So probably most of the drivers, well, not probably, all the drivers are gonna go onto the mediums. I don't think that it's gonna be different I don't think it's gonna be different. Please don't leak the information, because I want to have a surprise, alright? I want to have a surprise. I don't want to know the weather. It's gonna be way fun when I don't know it, alright? Shut up about the weather. Sorry. Oh. Not all of the drivers went for the mediums, as although already 3 drivers are disqualified from the formation lap, but there is few drivers going for the softs, going for the aggressive strategy. Noise, Hennessy, Reggie, Matt, Tur and High that went for the softs, and everyone else going for the mediums. What am I now tagged again? Honestly, I don't want to know about the weather. Just don't spoil it for me, alright? Just don't talk about the weather. We can talk about the weather in real life, but not for the race. It's gonna be way better if I just don't know the weather. Just like in real life. I mean, you can obviously search it up, but anyways. Yeah, as the drivers are gonna be going for the grid slots. Yeah, obviously you want to have them tires warmed up. That these were Sir and High, they won't be having warmed up tires. And so obviously, if some drivers went for the softs, then it could be that there's going to be rain, or they went for the aggressive strategy. Very cool cam. Okay, there's very interesting positioning by Shaza. Very tilted, but 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights are out. They were held for a very long time, but his lights out and away we go. Noise gets a very good start, as was Father gets an amazing start, and at the back an AlphaTauri of Gravity goes into the wall. And he already is down the back, and it's 2 AlphaTauris down. What is happening at the back? I'll check that later. But Noise has stayed in P1. Father has jumped Shaza for P2. Reggie is now up to P5, behind Tilted and Gravity. They're way down the order. They're P15 and P17 at the moment. Position changes. Tilted has lost 11 positions from the start. He was definitely caught up in some incident with someone. Mormonic is very close to George, going to turn 10. But he didn't manage to keep it. Only Noise, Alfie have stayed in their positions, as Matt has overtaken Pet, but Pet was diving down in turn 14, but he hit Matt, and he's now down in P15. Reggie has overtaken Hennessy for P4 on the main straight. George has overtaken Alfie, going to turn 1, as was behind Tilden, and Mormonic are fighting for P11. Mormonic goes off track, but Mormonic could be now diving it down into turn 3. No, he didn't. Tilted missed his apex, as Hennessy has spun on the exit of turn 4, as well as Alfie spun on the exit of turn 4. 2 of the drivers have spun on the exit of turn 4. And as well at the front, actually a little bit more. Again, an Alfa Romeo has spun. This time it's Dietrich who has spun. Now on the exit of turn 5, Hennessy is now again down the order, again on the gravel, and he's now down in P17 from P5 from where he started. Very disappointing start from Hennessy. as he's in AI, and again yellow flags. That is High, who has spun on the exit of turn 11, going to turn 12. Behind him, Dietrich and Tur are going went side by side into turn 13. Went to turn 14. Tur could be driving it down to turn 14, and he did, and he does overtake the Alfa Romeo driver for P15. Up front, Reggie is already behind Father, and he's up to third. But now on this back straight, he could be take a move on Father on the outside, on the inside. Now on the inside, going to turn 5. That was very late movement by Father. He was on the he defended the inside, but went for the normal line. But Reggie was trying to dive it down the inside, but Father got a better exit on those mediums. So Reggie now has to settle it for P3, although he has way better tires for now, and way better car, obviously. There are quite some few clouds, darker clouds around the track, although there's still somewhat of a the sun is shining through those clouds. Reggie's very close behind Father on the main straight, and Reggie with the better. Actually, I don't know with the better, because they're going now side by side, going into turn 1. Reggie on the outside, Father on the inside, and Father, who had a better line, is now, or has stayed in P2 behind Tilted, has overtaken Jose as he again spins in turn 1, and he's now down in 10th behind Motormonic. Up front, Reggie didn't fancy a move, going to turn 5 on Father, although behind High has spun in turn 2. That's an Alpine who has spun. That's George who has spun on the exit of turn 5. Hudson is way down the order in the Ferrari. As there was a Matt spun on the exit of turn 8. That's a disaster for Mercedes now, as they're now off the points from the sprint. It's P11 and P14 for Mercedes, as Matt has spun yet again, probably because of hot rear tires, and Gemini was caught up in that as well. Meanwhile, up front, Reggie going to turn 15 overtook Father for P2, although now Father is trying to overtake him, going to turn 1, and Father on the inside is ahead of Reggie, but going to turn 3, Reggie still stays behind. Williams has spun, that's Pat, but Reggie has spun on the exit of turn 4. Disaster for the championship leader in this sprint, as he's now down in P5, could be down in P7 if Jose and George did overtake him. Jose did overtake him, but George didn't, so Reggie is now down in 6 from where he started in this sprint. Matt has pitted for mediums. So it's still Somalian Father in P2, and Shaza who just got the 3-second time penalty, so he won't be challenging for P2 anymore. Or I mean, if he overtakes him, if he overtakes the Alpine and he pulls a 3-second gap. Norris looks to be very dominant in the sprint, already 5.4 seconds ahead of the Father. But Shaza with the DRS and with the help of the ERS is easily ahead of Father going to turn 1. Very easily ahead of him. Already 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths ahead of him going to turn 3. So Shaza has the pace, as Reggie is trying to overtake Jose going to turn 1 and going to turn 3. Jose thought that Reggie was going to dive bomb it going to turn 3, so he left a massive amount of space, but he didn't. And Reggie, with the help of the DRS going to turn 5, he could be he's on the inside, but Jose was trying to get the switchback, but he completely lost it, and George is giving back the place. So actually, George could have hit Jose in the back, and that could have cost it Jose the chance of fighting for Reggie for P5, as Father as well got a 3-second time penalty. So Sheza is now back for the fight for P2, as he's ahead of Father. Tur has overtaken Tilted going to turn 12, as Tilted doesn't give up going to turn 13. He's still tried to dive on going to turn 13. Going to turn 14, Tur is now ahead of Tilted. Obviously in the sprint there's a different points format, so Mormonic would be getting points if he didn't have the penalty. Tur does have the DRS, so Tur is gonna try and overtake Mormonic on the outside of turn 1. He sticks it on the outside, but Mormonic had a snap, and that puts Mormonic and Tur spun round, and they're now both down in P11 and 12, but they're still be fighting for between themselves, as Tur is still ghosted. He's still ghosted. Mormonic has the DRS. Oh, well, that wasn't good from Tur. I guess he was angry on Mormonic that he spun him around, but that still wasn't great by the Mercedes driver. At the moment for P1 looks to be settled. The gap has gone down a little bit. It's 4.8 now, but Noise doesn't have the DRS. 3 seconds, I meant. He doesn't have the 3-second time penalty, so technically for 4.8 seconds you have to add 3 seconds. So it's 7.6 now. Although the mediums have better grip, as Sheza is catching up to the Ferrari up ahead. Regicides are gonna be as well the same as for Noise, as well as Tur, High, and actually Hennessy's are 3 laps old, so they aren't as bad. Yeah, High with the 3-second time penalty. Sheza is catching up to Noise very quickly. The gap when we started the lap 8, it was 4.8. Now it's 4.0, as Tur and Pets are fighting for P10 going to turn 5. A little bit of contact between them on the exit, but going to turn 7, Tur is ahead of Pet. High DN retires from the race by pressing the button. Gemini has front wing damage that I didn't realize that he did have. But yeah, Sheza with a new false lap. The gap is now down to 3.8 between Noise and Sheza, so those soft tires are almost dead from Noise. As there were yellow flags, but I didn't realize what they were. Maybe Dietrich was spun or something, as Hudson and Dietrich are fighting for P14. Hudson on the outside has way better car with way better grip, and he did overtake Dietrich on the outside of turn 14, but could be that Dietrich is gonna have the DRS on Hudson. Yes, he does have the DRS, but he doesn't have the ERS. Well, basically neither of them had the DRS, so neither of them could be overtaken or defended. But Hudson gets again a 3-second time penalty, and he missed the completely turn 3, and he's now behind Dietrich. Matt has spun in turn 1. A completely bad race, completely bad race from both of the Mercedes, actually, and qualifying was as well the same. Pet has left. All right, so that's why Gemini was ahead, overtook Pet.
And the gap now between Noise and Shazza, it's 2.8.
in lap 10. The race that Moronic said to me that there was gonna be, there isn't. There is none. So fun fake news, Mormonic. Thank you. The gap is going down between Noise and Shazza, but Shazza's not close enough, and Shazza does have the 3-second time penalty, so Noise is taking it comfortably on the sprint win. Going to turn 15. The gap is now 1.8 between the two of them. The clouds are getting darker. It's getting darker on around the track. But I mean, if it's gonna rain, then it's gonna be raining at the very, very end of the race, which probably Noise and Shazza they won't even experience. But then, like, the drivers who are way down, Shazza gets another 3-second time penalty, so he's definitely out of the P1 contention at the moment. Jose is fighting George for P6. Why the camera's so bad? Why was every single camera the same? I don't understand. Oh, did it ghost track? George, with the help of the yours, doesn't get close enough to Jose, so he's gonna have to settle for P7 now, although Jose has the 3-second time penalty, or penalty, whatever it is. 3-second one, but when it gets another 3-second time penalty, Shazza has closed up to Noise, but it's too late as Jose spawns on the exit of turn 8 and damages his front wing on the very last lap of the sprint, and he's gonna be now down in 9th out of the points. But it's Noise who wins the sprint race ahead of Shazza. They're going side by side through the line, but Shazza had the 3-second time penalty, so Noise is in pole position for this main race. Shazza is 2nd, Father is 3rd, Chovy 4th, surprisingly, from which position he was, 7th, Reggie 5th. He's gonna start 5th after his adventures. George 6th, Tilted 7th, Gravity 8th, Turn 9th, Jose 10th, Mormonic 11th as he crashes on the line, Shemina 12th with the damage front wing, Dietrich 13th, Hudson 14th, Matt 15th, Pet 16th, Alfie 17th, and Hennessy 18th. Actually, Shemina is 13th and Dietrich 12th. Oh yeah, Shemina had the penalties, but yeah, everyone in top 8 is gonna get points. Gravity is gonna get 1 point, and those results were the results for the main race. So yeah, 1 race down, 1 race left, and yeah, these are gonna be the standings for the race. Alright, so yeah, these are gonna be the now the grid for the main race. And it is cloudy in Portugal. We could maybe expect rain in here, as it is very, very cloudy. Could be seeing rain. We will see if there is gonna be any, because someone said that there was gonna be rain, but there wasn't any. So if anyone says that there's gonna be rain, I don't trust them anymore. Yeah. I don't trust it now. I mean, Travis shouldn't trust this game ever. This game even has problems with the traction at the exit, that it's RNG. Alright, but whatever the Dreds are gonna do with their strategies, Shazza goes aggressive on his strategy. He goes on the softs. Then Jose and Matt, they go, they invert their strategy. Probably they will go hards and mediums, I would say. And then everyone else goes on the mediums. If Shazza went on the softs, we could maybe see rain in this race, in the middle part of the race. But if it's only Shazza, then it could be as well strategic thing. But as well, if we look at Jose and Matt, it could be as well that there's not gonna be rain. I don't even know myself. I don't know how it's gonna be, but most of the guys on the mediums, only Shaz on the softs, and Jose and Matt on the hards. So yeah, obviously softs are gonna be way easier to warm up than the mediums, and obviously than the hards. And look at if the drivers have their tires warmed up. No, everyone has pretty much on the 80s or under 70s, or no, under 80s. Goodness, actually, Father has pretty much warmed up. Noise is trying to warm up them. Yeah. Oh, I needed to stretch. I need to stretch a little bit because I'm basically keeping my mic like with my hand like not straight, but like I don't even know how to even call it. But yeah, drivers are positioning to the grid slots. Shazza this time isn't tilted like he was in the sprint. He has put himself normally. So the lights are gonna go now pretty much 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go here in Portugal for the main race. Shazza gets a better start than Noise, taking the advantage of the softs, but Father was trying to as well overtake both of them in the middle of them, but he couldn't take advantage of it. So Shazza is in front, behind Shemanai has spun, he is now down in 19, and as well there is Dieterich on the inside of turn 3, and it's now Father trying to overtaking Noise down inside of turn 5, now they go side by side into turn 6, but it looks like Noise is gonna be ahead, behind Mattis has spun on the exit of turn 5 as well, and he's down in P18 on the hearts. Dietrich has spun as well. Behind both the Alfies are very close between each other. Alfie now, he's in AI. He has left. Okay, but Shazza is increasing his gap. While now he's leading. He got the perfect start that he needed, and he's gonna go on these few laps alone and quite far from Noise. Reggie did overtake Jovi, as Jovi got a poor start of the line. So it's Shazza now with the fastest lap. Noise in P2, lost 1 position. Father stayed in his P3. Reggie gained 1 position as behind. Gravity is up to 6th as Jovi loses his yet again more position as he now gets hit from behind by George. going to turn 3, and he's now way down the order behind Hudson. And he's now from 6th and 7th to now P13 because of George Mormonic is up to 8th as Mormonic pushes George off and himself off track. They're going to turn 7, they go side by side, and George regains his P8. And both of the AlphaTauris in the sprint race in the beginning, they were looking horrible as they were pretty much the two last drivers on the start of the start in turn 1. Now they're P6 and 7 on lap 2 here in on the main race. Noise now is 1.6 seconds behind Shaza, but he's 1 second ahead of Father, as Father now tries to defend himself from the Red Bull driver and the 3-time champ in this league. As Reggie's very close behind, Reggie takes a defensive line with turn 3, but now Reggie's trying to get the better exit of turn 4 with the help of the DRS, and going to turn 5 tries to take the inside. He's on the inside, but Father could be getting a better exit of turn 5, and he does get the better exit. Both the AlphaTauris are now fighting as well. Tilted is trying to overtake Gravity as he feels that he's faster than his teammate. On the exit now, Jose has spun on the exit of turn 5, damaging his front wing, and his strategy going from mediums, hards to mediums, probably, I'm guessing, is now destroyed. 2 Williamses and 2 Alfa Romeos are very at the back. Well, Dietrich has now overtaken Jose, but it's still behind. Shaza is still extending his lead to now 2.4 seconds. But Father is still staying quite some close behind Noise, but he can't get that DRS that he really needs for the straight. Although Reggie does have the DRS, Father is trying to defend the inside, but Reggie is unstoppable on the straight, and he is up to 3rd. Meanwhile, the two AlphaTauris now switch positions. Tilted is ahead of Gravity. Father will be trying to get his P3 back on this little back straight, as Reggie does have the DRS behind Noise. And going to turn 5, Father sends it down the inside, and he parks the car in the middle of the corner, and there's a little bit of contact between them. And Father on the inside, but Reggie tries to go down inside of turn 8 now. Try to get a switchback going to turn 7, but Father is still ahead of Reggie. Going to sector 2, or going to turn 9 and 10. Father is still ahead, and Tura had a beautiful view of it as he's up to 5th. In quali he was starting 18th, then he started 9th for this race, and now he's up to 5th. Very good performance by him, as he now trying to overtake Reggie onto P4, and he did overtake him. Reggie could be having some front wing damage at the back. What is happening? That is high spawn round, and he is now DNF from this race. Jovi gets to get in trouble as he goes into the pits. Gemini is trying to overtake Hudson, going to turn 1 on the outside, but as Hudson went wide, Gemini goes into Hudson, and he spins around, and he is stuck on the sausage curb, and he resets the track. I mean, he sort of had to. Matt is ahead of Hudson, going to turn 5. Noise is sort of stranded in a stranded man on the island now, as he is 2.8 seconds behind Shaza, but 2.3 seconds ahead of Father, who has been defending quite well actually from Reggie, and now from Tura. I mean, although Tura hasn't been close enough to overtake Father, or trying to overtake him, but Father has a 3-second time penalty, so that puts him in a disadvantage now. those softs should be now getting less and less, Shazza is gonna have a smaller advantage from Noise, as now the softs, the mediums are gonna get faster and faster. The mediums are gonna get faster and faster. Tur has closed up to Father, going to turn 1, but he still can't overtake him. He's still a little too far back. On the exit, it wasn't the best, as he had a bit of a oversteer on the exit, and he's not close enough to overtake him. So Tur has to settle it down for P4 as of right now. Dietrich gets a 3-second time penalty. No, that's the first one. Tilted isn't that much faster than Graffiti. Graffiti had a massive snap on the exit of turn 8. He saved it beautifully, but now he has lost the DRS behind his teammate. If his teammate is gonna be nice, he's gonna let him back into the DRS, so Gravity could be defending from George somewhat. Now yet again for fight for P3. Tur is again 7 tenths behind, and now with the DRS, Reggie's closing it in on Tur a little bit, as he has a better slipstream. Tur goes off track as he made a mistake, and now Tur and Reggie, they're fighting yet again, as they're fighting previously in this season. Reggie on the outside was a little bit forced to go off track, but now going to turn 5. Tur on the inside, Reggie on the outside, but Tur defended well to keep his P4 alive. Meanwhile, George is fighting for P8 as Graffiti spins on the exit of turn 5. And now he is down in P10 behind Matt. So this is what I talked about, that if Tilted would nicely give George the DRS. I don't know if Gravity had the DRS, but if he didn't have, then if Gravity would have the DRS, then probably that would have happened. But that's just ifs. That's ifs. That's just if Tilted would give the DRS, then that wouldn't have happened. Noise has caught up to Shazza a little bit. The gap has gone down from 3 seconds to now 2.6. That's Jose, who has spun around on the exit of turn 4. Disappointing race from Jose, and from basically McLaren, as Jose is gonna get lapped by Shazza. So, and he has front wing damage, so his race is technically over, if you want to say it, as he spins it again on the exit of turn 5. Yeah, his race is basically over now. Nothing that he can do about it now. Very disappointing race from both of the McLarens. They started well, but they finish it off sort of not as good. But it's still, for Chevy, it's still a long race, so he can still fight for higher positions if there's gonna be a safety car. Meanwhile, Dietrich and Gemini are fighting for P12. Dietrich, if I'm right, overtook Gemini into turn 5, so he's now up to 12th. Meanwhile, up the front, nothing has really changed, although Tur is now closer and closer to the Somalian father. With the help of the DRS, he could be... No, he's not gonna be close enough. But maybe if he catches up to the father a little bit more, as Reggie made a mistake on the exit of turn 1 2 and 3. And now he's just within that DRS. Tur isn't close enough to have a go on the Alpine ahead of him. Noise is still catching up to the Red Bull ahead of him, as Jose has crashed out on the exit of turn 4. No safety car there, so And no, it doesn't look like that there's gonna be a safety car. So for Shazza, it would have been perfect to go now for the safety car, but it doesn't seem to want to go to the safety car as Dietrich spins at the exit of turn 5. I don't think no damage there. It could have been as well between contact between Gemini and Dietrich. Matt is trying to overtake more money going to turn 9. Not 9. 13, sorry. 13. And he did overtake him. That McLaren is staying there for a very long time. But now it has been cleared. Tur is very close to Father as he pulled out to the right. And now he is ahead of the Father. Reggie's trying to have a go as well on the Alpine on the inside of turn 3. Tur is now ahead of the Alpine, but Father could be having a have and go on the Mercedes going to turn 5, and he did have a go. Reggie's trying to somewhere squeeze in as well, but Father did re-overtake Tur to regain his P3. So many things has changed quickly, but that was just perfect transition for this little scrap as Gravity and Mormonic made contact on the exit of turn 5, I suppose, and now they have spun themselves, who did that as well. Noise is catching up to Shazza. The gap is now down to 1.4 as Shazza goes into the pits for, I would say, hard tires. It's not hard to guess. Yes, hard tires till the end. Tur trying to yet again overtake Father, and he does overtake him going to turn 1 way better than he did last time. But still, Father is very close behind the Mercedes. But on the exit of turn 4, no, he's not that close anymore. Going to turn 5, no, he's not close anymore. So Tur has successfully overtaken a Somalian Father going to turn 1, way better than he did last time, and he's ahead of the Alpine. George and Gemini. Gemini overtook George going to turn first 3 corners basically. Shazza has clear track, although behind him there's Matt, who could be fancying to have a go on him somewhere on the track. So, and he still has somewhat coldish tires, so Matt could be as well having a go on him. Reggie does go into the pits very early from the medium, so he's trying to get a switch back on these two ahead of him. As for these two, Shazza and Matt, no, Matt is too far behind, and Shazza is was as well using a little bit of the ERS. So now Matt is not gonna be able to he hasn't even closed in to Shazza. Reggie is gonna rejoin between Hudson and Gravity, although Gravity is gonna have a better line going to turn 1 and better tires on these first few corners. So Reggie could be in trouble from Gravity, as Gravity gets a way better turn 4 and going to turn 5. Gravity is having a go on Reggie for P8, and this ruins Reggie's undercut completely, and as he now has to be behind the slower AlphaTauri throughout Sector 2 and Sector 3 if he doesn't overtake him. But if he tries to overtake him, he's still gonna lose time on Father and Tur. Noise has stayed out still, and Father has still stayed out. Tilted goes into the pits already. Shazza is basically now alone. Now it's gonna be around 9 sec. No, that's not 9 seconds. That is 14 seconds behind someone father, who gets another 3-second time penalty. But as well, out of Matt by almost 3 seconds. Matt doesn't have pace at all this Saturday. No pace at all in qualifying, in sprint, and in the race. Just no pace at all. As behind, Mormonic has spun in turn 1. Probably contact between him, Gemini, and George. As Gemini and George, they have swapped places, as well as Reggie and Gravity. So Reggie has lost quite some time behind the AlphaTauri throughout that one lap. Meanwhile, ahead of him, Hudson has spun on the exit of turn 8. Shaza is behind Noise. 27 seconds. Something has happened to Shaza. He's now in AI mode. He's left the game. Did the game disconnect him? That's very bad for Shaza. In the meantime, that was Mormonica and DJ. They made contact on the exit of turn 5. Sort of the same situation that was between Mormonic and Gravity. George and Gemini, they're having a go again on between themselves. Hudson in the pits. But no way that you're telling me that Shaza's game just decided to go off. I didn't even see anything that he would be going. He's now joined back, but he's now 6.5 seconds behind Matt, and he's spun going to turn 4. He's now behind Gravity, so he's lost even more time. As what has happened as well with Noise? He's having problems as well. What's happening with these game issues? First is Shaza, now it's Noise. Two of the winner contenders for this race. Well, at least Noise's AI goes into the pit, so he doesn't lose that much time. But what is going on with this game? First was Shaza, now it's Noise. I mean, in the earlier there was Hennessy, Pet, and Alfie. Could Reggie be ahead of now Noise, who still isn't back in the game? Reggie is now ahead of Noise, but Noise still isn't back in the game. So he's gonna be behind Gravity and Shaza even. As Reggie is trying to overtake Father, as Father had the colder tires, and Reggie is ahead of Father. Noise still not back in the game. But what's going on with these game crashings? Two of the people that started on the front row having problems. So I guess the curse will continue. Reggie is still behind Tur, 26 seconds behind. Tur goes now into the pits. Could be that Reggie is gonna be ahead of Tur on the exit. Actually, could be the same scenario as happened to the someone your father was ahead for a brief amount of time, but is gonna be still behind. Meanwhile, behind, oh, that's Jovi out. I don't see anyone. Why don't get a notification when someone leaves? I don't know. But Tur, the same scenario as Father had. He is ahead of Reggie, but Reggie dives down up the inside of turn 3. He didn't actually get him. He went on a sausage curb on the exit, but Reggie has way better tires on the exit, and Tur trying to warm them up. That could have been dangerous, and Tur now trying to defend from Reggie on the exit of turn 5. Reggie gets a way better exit than Tur. Reggie now tries to switch back Tur in turn 7. but Tur parked the car there, and he now has to be stuck behind Tur for a little longer now. Going to turn 10, Reggie he's still trying to have a go on Tur as Father and Shaza caught up behind these two ahead. Reggie is still trying to somewhere have a go on Tur. Going to turn 14, Reggie's gonna have probably better exit than Tur. He's still very close behind Tur. And on the exit of turn 15, yes, he's very close behind Tur. And with the help of the Red Bull power unit and the help of the ERS, DRS, although it doesn't seem to have that he's gonna be ahead, as Tur did have the inside, and they go side by side into turn 2 and 3. Reggie tries to get a switch back on the exit of turn 3. He didn't get it, but tries to get a now better exit than Tur, but Tur gets a DRS from the AI from Alfie. If that's right. Yes, that was Alfie's AI. So Tur is still in virtual P1, sorry, as Matt is still yet to go into the pits. So Tur at the moment virtually is in P1, ahead of Reggie, ahead of Father, and ahead of Shaza. Is Noise back? Noise is back in the game, but look at how much he's behind. He's 16 seconds behind Shaza. 16 seconds, over 17 seconds behind Shaza. That's just enormous. Tur is still ahead of Reggie, and he had a slightly bigger gap on the exit of turn 15, but Reggie is closing it in, but he won't be close enough. Meanwhile, Shaza did overtake Father before going to turn 1, but Father tries to send a dummy, force Shaza to brake later, and force as well a little bit Reggie to being a little bit pressurized from his teammate. And Tur still stays in P2 still, or virtual P1. It's lap 18, 15 laps to go in this race. Reggie gets a way better exit than Tur on the exit of turn 8. Going to turn 9, he's very close behind the Mercedes. And going to turn 10 and 11, tries to maybe get a better exit than the Mercedes. But going to turn 13, tries to send it into turn 13, but not close enough. And now he's a little bit pressurized by his teammate as Father spins on the exit of turn 13, and he is out from the competition to try and pressurize both the Red Bulls. Now both the Red Bulls are clear from the pressure behind. They can now do teamwork between themselves to overtake Tur for the 1 and 2 for the Red Bull. But yet Tur is still in P1. He's been very fast in this race, and he has fresher tires, 4 and 5 laps fresher tires, as Shaza made a mistake, I guess, on the exit of turn 4, or on the exit of turn 3 and 4, as he fell off that 1 second, so he's not gonna have the DRS on Reggie. As Reggie made a mistake on the exit of turn 8, he's gonna lose a little bit of time on there. This could be prime time for Tur to try and somewhat pull away from Reggie. Pull away from Reggie's 1 second, although Reggie still looks fast. The gap is very, very close, and it goes down to 7 tenths. It went up to 8 tenths, almost 9 tenths, but Reggie still has a DRS. I don't think Reggie is gonna have a go on Tur on the exit of this going to turn 1, but he has closed in very fast, going from 8 tenths to 4 tenths. The gap, 13 laps to go in this race, so for Tur it's gonna be very difficult to keep him for 13 seconds behind him. Meanwhile, anything else? Nothing is really happening. It's only the fight for P1, 2 and 3. It's only this that's happening. And by the way, Tilted is looking for a very good finish in this race, but he gets a 3-second time penalty. So this would ruin it a little bit, as Father gets another 3-second time penalty. He's now 9 seconds. But Tilted is looking for a very good finish at the end of the race. P4 or P5, depending if Noise catches up to these two ahead. Could be looking for a very good finish in his... I don't know if... I don't know if it's his debut, but for the reserve drive today, Reggie is closing in on Tur, going to turn 1. Tur's red light is flashing, so Reggie knows that he's depleted from most of his ERS, but Reggie wasn't close enough, and he didn't fancy to overtake Tur going to turn 1. He's gonna try and overtake Tur going to turn 5 now on the outside as Tur defends the inside, and now Reggie's gonna have a go on the switchback, but it's not close enough still, and Tur is still ahead of Reggie, and both of the Red Bulls, as ahead of the 3 of them, were the lapped cars of the Williamses. Means I'm Tilted and Father, they're fighting for P4. Father got another 3-second time penalty, so it's now 12 seconds. And going to turn 11, Tilted overshows the corner, and he's now down in 5th, but Father has 12 seconds of time penalties as Father parks the car in turn 13. But Tilted doesn't have to worry, as up front it's the same again. Reggie uses most of his ERS and going to turn 1. Reggie is ahead of Tur going to turn 1. Reggie is our new race leader for this race, but there's still this little back straight DRS that Tur could be advantage of, but Tur gets a horrendous exit, and now he's getting pressurized by the other Red Bull of Shazza going to turn 5. He could be losing 2 places in 1 lap to both the Red Bulls. Tur is on the inside, but he's now behind Shazza, so this is a masterclass done by the Red Bulls as they take the 1 and 2 for this race. 11 laps to go as Dietrich spins on the exit of turn 11, where in hell he is, and he's now getting lapped by the leaders, so his race is ruined, is over. Gravity had there were yellow flags that caused by Gravity, I think, and he lost the position. But yeah, it is Reggie out of Shazza, and now Tur, if he wants to battle it out for P1, he's gonna have to overtake both the Red Bulls, and they're gonna obviously play a team game. No overtaking between each other, and no ERS use between each other. I don't think either that as well. So it's probably gonna be a DRS train till the end, as Tur got a big snap on the exit of turn 3, and he's on the verge of not getting it into the DRS. He's just in that, but it could be that he's not gonna be in by the end of this lap. It's 1 second. Dietrich went wide going to turn 7 and 8. Tur is still yet just within that DRS. Alright, I'm back. I accidentally muted my mic. But Tur is just in that DRS, just within that DRS. Sheza was a little bit too far behind Reggie. So yeah, Tur does have the DRS on Sheza, but for how many laps can he still hold on to the Red Bulls ahead? Tilted goes into the pits and it gets a 5-second time penalty. I don't know for what for he went into the pits. He would have been easily through on those hards, but he's pitting for the softs to the end. As Gemini makes a mistake on the exit of turn 13, Tilted drops down behind Matt, as Matt gets another 3-second time penalty. That's 6-second time penalty. Tilted has 8 seconds. Father has 12 seconds. Noise is probably gonna be finishing easily in P4, but Reggie is gonna extend his lead from Noise, as Tur is not in that DRS, although there is a lapped AlphaTauri in the mix. Tur is gonna get the DRS from the AlphaTauri, but he's 1.4 seconds behind. He's not gonna be able to get a DRS behind Sheza anywhere near in the future, as the gap goes down to P1.3, but now it gets up to P 1.6 seconds. Noise overtakes Father going to turn 3. He didn't even need to overtake him. He would have been ahead of him either way, as Father gets another 3-second time penalty. Father fights Noise going to turn 5. And that's very close between the two. Although Noise is on the inside of turn 7, Father holds on around the outside. He's now ahead of Noise around the outside of turn 8. What a beautiful move by the Alpine Reserve, and he's now back in P4. Although he has 15 seconds of time penalties, it was still a very impressive move from him. Noise doesn't have to really overtake him anymore. He doesn't have to take any risks, as they now fight for the DRS. Noise is ahead. Noise is ahead of Father. That was very comical by the two of them. But Father has outplayed himself, and he has stayed behind Noise. He went by on the exit of turn 1, and now on the exit of turn 3 and the exit of turn 4. Is he gonna be able to get ahead? No, he's not gonna be able to get ahead of Noise anymore, unless he does an ultimate dive down inside, but no, he doesn't do that. Tilted gets a new fastest lap of the race. It is a 119.927. He's 3 seconds behind, or about 3 seconds. 2.4 seconds behind Matt. Matt had 6 seconds of times of penalties. Tilted had 8, so Tilted has to overtake Matt and also pull a 2-second gap. So it's not the easiest job for Tilted in terms of to get the P6. Front nothing. When did Shazak get ahead of Reggie? When did Shazak get ahead of Reggie? Excuse me, but how? When? Where? But anyways, well, I didn't realize that that Shaza is ahead of Reggie, but well, he is now. He is now. 6 laps to go. George takes the left car for that. Father makes a mistake on the exit of turn. What is he doing? Gearbox problem. Gearbox. I guess his father was playing as like sort of roleplay, and his gearbox got stuck, and now he's gonna be fighting Matt. Although Matt doesn't have to fight him, and he gets a very bad exit off turn 8. Matt is very close behind the Alpine. Probably gonna have a go when he's gonna get the DRS behind him. Tilted as well doesn't have to overtake Father, but what he needs to do is to overtake Matt to get himself ahead of Matt by the end of the race. So the fact that Father is now holding Matt behind back, this could be good for Tilted if he wants to get a move on to get ahead of him. In which lap time? Father gets another 3-second time penalty. That's 18 seconds of penalties. How is this man still racing? As he gets now poor exit off turn 4, Matt is gonna have a go down the inside of the Alpine going to turn 5, but Father gets a better exit than Matt on the exit of turn 5, and well, this is looking very good for Tilted as they fight more and more ahead of him. He's now 1.5 seconds behind. Father lets, I guess, Matt through. So Matt is now up to P5. I'm very confused in here. I'm very confused. Well, you could say again that Noise is against a stranded man on the island, as he's 15 seconds behind her, but then 19 seconds out of Matt. This guy could spin or cut the whole turn 13 and 14, yet he would be still P4. Father does overtake Matt going to turn 1. This is very good for Tilted, as Gravity spins on the exit of turn 12. And that gives, well, actually not really gives. Dietrich is gonna fight a little bit. Gravity going to turn 10. A little bit of contact between them. Dietrich tries to get a switchback. And now going into turn 12, not 13. I'm really confused in here. Noise is out. Why isn't Noise's game again kicked him out, I guess, or he just left. I don't know. But now he's gonna lose a massive amount of time to the draw. He could be losing his P4 right now, as it's still 3 laps to go. Dietrich gets another 3-second time penalty. Tilted is very close behind Father. He's now lost time that he gained on Matt, and Father goes a little bit defensive. Tilted doesn't have the ERS, neither does Father, as Tilted changes quickly directions from left to right, but that didn't pay off, as he's still behind Father. And he stays in P7, but Tilted, like I was saying, he doesn't have to overtake Father. He has 10 more seconds more than him, as Tilted sends a big dive bomb on the Alpine. Father has wing damage, actually. Does he? Because I think that I saw his front wing, or he has front wing. No, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't have any front wing damage. False alarm. False. Fake news. Fake news. There are many drivers who have left from this race. There are Mormonic, Jovi, Alfie, Hennessy, Pet. Then there was one Shaza. Now it's Noise. Interesting. It could be that Matt is gonna be ahead of Noise. There's still 2 laps to go. So I mean, there's still a long way to go. Somewhat. Tilted is still trying to overtake Father as he sends a move on the inside of turn 3 now. Oh, that was very close between Father and Tilted. Very aggressive from Father. But like I'm saying, Tilted doesn't have to overtake Father. He doesn't have to overtake him. He doesn't have to overtake him. Father has 10 seconds more of penalties than Tilted. And Noise's AI has terrible pace. The AIs are not powerful. Or the way that Reggie set them up. They're not powerful, so he's gonna overtake him anyway. And he's gonna pull a big lead. Because Matt gained 20 seconds in 1.5 laps. Father is now ahead of Noise and Tilted. So he's now up to 6th. Provisionally P5. Shaza is still ahead of Reggie. They haven't switched positions. Could it be that as Gravity crashes out on the exit of turn 4, there's not gonna be a safety car as it's only 2 laps to go. It could have been earlier, but I guess it didn't happen earlier. That's a shame. Shaza will shortly start the final lap of the... I mean, it wasn't the most entertaining one, but it wasn't the most boring one. It was like in the middle. It was like in the middle. It wasn't the most entertaining one, but it was the most... but it wasn't the most boring one. Shaza started the final lap of the race. Reggie is closer to Shaza, but I don't think they're gonna fight. If they're gonna switch positions, then it's gonna be calculated. And they have agreed on that. But Reggie is too far back to even think of an overtake. Meanwhile, what's happening in the mix? Gemini, George, and Hudson, they are all in a small bubble between themselves. Gemini is 8th with no penalties. George is 9th with penalties. 11 seconds, and Hudson is with only 3 seconds. So with that, Hudson is going to be virtually 9th. Noise is already 2 points as he's back in the game. Noise is back in the game. He's 7th. He's gonna be... Well, with the gaps, now Tilted has 11 seconds. Noise is gonna finish about 5 as the Red Bulls switch positions at the very last moment. Reggie crossed the line first and wins the Portuguese Grand Prix here in Algarve. Or Portimao, or whatever it is. Shuts up behind, so it's a Red Bull 1-2. Turf finishes 3rd after finishing 8th for the sprint and starting 9th for the main race. Matt finishes 4th somehow. Tilted is trying to overtake Father to overtake him for so that he's gonna be ahead of him on the line. Tilted finishes in P6, Noise finishes in P5, Father finishes in 7th, Noise with the fastest lap, takes the fastest lap from Tilted, and Matt finishes 4th, Gemini will finish 8th, Hudson will finish 9th, George, wherever he is gonna be finishing 10th, Mormonic 11th, Dietrich 12th, Jovi 14th. Gravity is gonna be 13th actually. Alfie 15th, Hennessy 16th, and Pet 17th. Mormonic is gonna cross the line now, and that's the race over. My driver of the day goes to Tur, in my opinion. Well, yeah, Matt as well had a good race. Both of the Mercedes had a very good race at the end. Had a very good races at the end when they didn't spin or anything. I mean, not that they had a very good race at the end, finishing 3rd and 4th, scoring more points than Ferrari, getting P10, actually P9, and P5. So these are the full points from both from both sprint and the race. Reggie with 29 points, Shaza with 25, Noise 19, Tur 14, Father 12, Matt 12, Tilted 10, Jovi 5, George 4, Shamanai 4, Hudson 2, and Gravity 1, and everyone else behind 0 points. So Red Bull are gonna extend their lead from Mercedes, and Mercedes are gonna extend their lead from Ferrari as well. Alpine got good few points in the mid-table fights, as there were, as well as Aston Martin gets few points. McLaren as well got few points. AlphaTauri got a good amount of points as well, 11. And yeah, my driver of the day for the sprint goes to Tur. For the race, I would say either Matt or Tur. Or for the race, I would actually say Matt, because from where he was, from where he started, he was starting 15th, and then basically, in my opinion, he didn't have that much pace, but then still finished 4th. But by the end, but very good race by him. The whole driver of the day goes for one of the Mercedes. The driver of the day goes to Mercedes. But for which one? For the whole out, Matt started the sprint somewhere in the mid-pack. He was like 12th, then he was 15th. I mean, Tur, from after crashing the car in qualifying, starting 18th, finishing 9th in the sprint, and then finishing 3rd in the race, and being very close to the win, and being very close to the Red Bulls. In my opinion, it's a the sprint race drive today is for Tur, for the main race, Matt, but the whole thing, the whole sprint race and race combined, it's Tur who gets the drive today. Next race it's in, I would maybe guess, we had, that's Portugal, so I don't know. Just searching for the calendar. Next race is in Singapore, Marina Bay Street Circuit, a night race. So see you guys next week. See you guys next week.